Hey guys, it's Kevin, State and Co. Truck Insurance. A question came up lately. Which one is a better trucking insurance company? Progressive Commercial Truck Insurance or new entrant into the market, Geico Commercial Truck Insurance? And yes, Geico, the big lizard, got into trucking insurance, which is kind of interesting because Geico is affiliate of Berkshire Hathaway umbrella, and they already had 4 or 5 different trucking insurance companies such as Berkshire Hathaway, National Indemnity, Milepost, Byberg, and they were, usually they never competed with, one with another. Usually, if you had already a policy with National Indemnity, Berkshire Hathaway would not even quote because it's their affiliate. Pricing is going to be the same, and I believe they were all tapping into the same underwriting channel, which was a backbone, same basically operations, underwriting operations for all those different carriers. But now with Geico Truck Insurance, yes, it is a completely standalone, different, brand new program where they compete with Berkshire. They do not care where the policy is coming from, and they'll be ultra competitive. So to take a step back, Progressive Commercial Truck Insurance is still the #1 and the largest trucking insurance company in the United States, especially for non-fleets. If you're under 10 power units, and especially if you're brand new and starting in trucking, the chances are at some point in the first 2, 3 years in business, you will be insured with Progressive. I can almost guarantee you that, every new venture went through that and had insurance through Progressive because they are, they're the behemoth in this market. But Geico, they hired, many people from Progressive. They kind of took a page from Progressive, and very similar to Progressive, they are insuring new ventures. They will take brand new CDL drivers. And of course, there's going to be a surcharge for that. So both Geico and Progressive will insure brand new, but it's going to cost. And again, if you have a brand new driver who's 1 week CDL versus, 10-year CDL, it's going to cost more. Same thing with the MC number and authority. If it's a brand new authority, it's going to cost more with both carriers. And especially when it comes to the driver quality, the one thing that not many pay attention or understand or I guess care is that 80% of trucking accidents on the road involve drivers that have less than 2 year CDL experience. So it's a huge, huge, if you change that one criteria where you require drivers to have a minimum 2 year CDL experience, which seems to be the case with most other A-rated insurance companies such as Northland Insurance, Canal Insurance, Berkeley, Crum & Foster, Great West, Sentry. Every single one requires 2 year CDL experience. Even Coverwell, which they're becoming pretty big player in those smaller fleets. But Geico and Progressive, right now, they're truly the ones that will take anybody. You can have violations, you can have new license, you can have new authority. Of course, that's gonna cost you. Everything comes down to the price. And when it comes to prices, we've seen it's all over the place with both. Each state's different. Each segment and category is different. And when it comes to, both Geico and Progressive will write dry vans, flatbeds, dump trucks, car haulers, reefers, box trucks, cargo vans. The one subcategory that Geico will not write is the tow trucks, which Progressive still plays in that segment. Just no go for Geico. But then everything else is up for grabs. And I'm talking about those are commercial trucking policies with federal filings. If you're a new venture, Progressive will have to, set the mile radius around 500 miles at the minimum. Geico is going to be 3 to 500 miles at the minimum. And that's for the first year in business. After first year in business, If needed, they can check and ask for your IFTAs. That's how they're gonna determine the mile radius. And based on that, they can adjust the miles. When it comes to coverages, both offer, of course, liability, cargo up to 250,000, physical damage for truck and trailer interchange, general liability, non-trucking liability. Progressive offers roadside assistance, so your mechanical breakdown, running out of fuel, that is optional coverage. It can be included. Or Geico still, they do not have that yet. I think more to come because, again, Geico, they've been only playing in the trucking insurance arena since 2023, and they're slowly rolling kind of state by state and adding independent agents. You can get quotes from both by going online or just by calling 1-800 number. The price will be the same. It doesn't matter if you work through the agent or you work directly with Geico or Progressive. I would though encourage to work with an agent because agent's gonna advise you and coach you and help you. Or, the 1-800 number, you call them, they're just gonna go through the motions. Usually they don't even pull MBRs until you're ready to buy the policy. So you might be getting that fantastic quote for $15,000 per year. But then, time comes to bind and you're providing them with the credit card information and you'll get a surprise where they'll tell you like, oh, well, your MBR shows a couple speeding tickets and an accident. And by the way, accidents, if you're truly not at fault, they can be disputed. You just need to have documentation, police report, or need to provide a letter from, your insurance company at that time stating that you were not at fault. Again, the chances are that 1-800 people won't necessarily go through the lengths explaining you that, but the agent who's going to care and try to book the policy, will coach you and help you and tell you what information is needed to get a better pricing. And not just new ventures. Both are competitive, and Progressive is especially competitive if it's a single unit owner operator. If owner is the driver, I've seen Progressive being $7,000-8,000 all in, and that's liability, cargo, physical damage, even throwing 30,000 trailer interchange. But that's for one unit, and they start to lose traction if it gets 2, 3, 4. Then, and especially if it's a more experienced carrier that's been in business 5+ years, then Progressive most of the time loses to Northland, Great West, Sentry Insurance, or Geico. And again, maybe it's because they're still new, they're still learning the states, they're still getting, I guess, their first claims to roll out. Because in some states, for example, South Carolina, we've just, I've seen a policy booked for $6,000 per year for a dump truck. For the same dump truck, Progressive was quoting $28,000 per year. So huge difference, huge discrepancy. I don't know if it's they overlooked that because dump trucks tend to be more riskier because they go to, there's road construction zones, there pedestrians involved, more heavy foot traffic, and but yeah. So for the time being, if you're a dump truck driver, I would encourage you, look for Geico or reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you. Payment plans, down payments, very similar with both. They usually need Geico's 15% down minimum, Progressive's like 16.7, around 17% down, plus 10 payments. So a down payment plus 10 payments. And then month number 11 is free. I mean, I wouldn't say free because your down payment basically pays for the first month and part of the last month, but 12-month policies. And, they both will give you a discount if you pay in full. So, Progressive, Geico paid in full. There's usually a 10-15% discount. Excuse me, but if you pay in installments, it's gonna be higher premium. One nice thing with Geico, excuse me, they will allow you to pay with a credit card, which Progressive, they will only allow you to pay the down payment, but monthly payments have to be on AutoPay or ACH, where you provide your routing number and account number. But with Geico, that down payment and monthly payments can be set up and paid with the credit or debit card, and there is no extra fee or surcharge for that. Well, so in a nutshell, that's again verdicts still to come. Which one's gonna be better? Progressive is still the bigger player, more experienced player, and I would say probably pricier player. So if you're looking for a better price, and especially states such as Florida and Georgia, from what we've seen, Geico is ultra competitive. We had a couple of quotes and policies booked for box trucks in Florida where Geico was like 20-30% cheaper than Progressive. And but then again, state by state, case by case. Of course, if the company is located in one of those big metropolitan areas such as Miami, Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, I mean, you'll be paying top premium because the bigger the metropolitan area, there's more traffic, more accidents, more claims, thefts, all that. And that's why insurance companies have to charge more if they see that Miami or Atlanta zip code. But if you're in smaller towns, rural areas, the chances are, with both, you might see, $15,000 to $20,000 per year per truck. And I'm talking here about new venture, less than 2 years in business, perhaps one or two drivers, one's more experienced, over 2 year CDL, one's under 2 year CDL, will fall in that 15 to 20,000 premium range. For more experienced truckers, 5+ years in business, I've seen Geico around 11,000 per truck per year, which was kind of like neck and neck with Northland Insurance, which is ultra competitive but very picky. So again, more to come, and I think in the following months, once we'll know more, we'll report to you. But for the time being, stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Bye.